Hi, I'm Moran of Team Juggernaut Training.
Hi, I'm Joe Hannon from Team Juggernaut Training.
And today I'm going to be going over some bench training at 8 weeks out from my next competition.
I'll be going over a deadlift and squat training. I'm also about 8 weeks out from my next meet.
So today is going to be week 6, day 5 of my training for this meet prep. And today we're going to be going over some heavy bench training. I usually do the actual warm-ups in the warm-up section. So after doing that, I'll fill up the questionnaire. And the next thing that I'll do is type in my current weight that I weighed in this morning. Today was 224 pounds. I slept about 6 hours last night, so I'm going to put that as a 3. My motivation, because we're doing this recording today, I'm going to put it at a 5 because I'm extremely motivated. Generally, it's at a 3. When I'm feeling really good and I know that I really want to hit a certain number, I usually put it at a 4. The next step that I do is rate my diet. I usually train a lot later in the day, so I usually have more calories. So because I've only had a pretty solid breakfast in my intra-workout nutrition, I'm going to put everything at a 3 as opposed to a 4 or 5, which is usually what I do. Next, usually I go with feeling strong and recovered. I'm feeling moderately sore because I did some heavy pulls yesterday, but not sore to the point where I think it's going to affect my training. So I usually leave that at a 3 as well. Next up is how each individual body part is feeling. I'm going to put everything at a 3, except for my lower back and glutes and hamstrings. I'm going to put those at a 2. They're a little bit sore, but they're not to the point where I think they're going to affect my training. But you never know, so I'm going to put that as kind of like a safety net to make sure that the numbers modulate based on how I'm feeling. So after that, I'm currently rehabbing a hamstring, but that's not really going to affect my bench training today, so we're going to skip that part and we're going to start the workout. And my workout is going to tell me that I have to do a comp triple of 440 to 455, so that's going to be the plan today.
Okay, so for today, I'm on week 16, day 3 of my program for my meet prep. I'm about 8 weeks out. Today is going to actually be a new rep max from my comp deadlift, or at least hopefully a new rep max. So when I get ready for this, I start the training, do the warm-ups. After the warm-ups, we go down to where my current body weight is. I don't always go on the scale, so I kind of just average it out. I'm around 230-ish, so I keep it around that weight. My sleep, because I drove a long time last night, came in late, I probably set my sleep at a 2. My motivation to train, because I'm here and I love the group I'm with, probably set that at a 5. My diet, not always the best. Not necessarily the best eater. I had McDonald's last night. This morning I'm running off of an energy drink, so I'll just keep that at a 3. Do I feel recovered? Mostly. I did a heavy deadlift double on Saturday last week, so I'll keep that at 3 as well. My body feels all right. I'll keep that at a 4. My lats, traps, and biceps, that'll stay at a 4. Lower back will stay at a 3. Glutes and hamstrings will be at a 4. Quads, I'll keep that at a 3. And then I'll start the workout. So again, it has to be set at a 10 RPE, which means I have to go for pretty much an all-out, how I feel that day, best deadlift. It should be a rep PR, but if it isn't, it's just, that's the best I have for that day for a double.
Oh, okay. So what Joe was telling me earlier is that he doesn't really think about setting his hips back. That's how I generally thought about it. So when he actually sets up, you can actually see where his armpit is in relation to the bar. His lat is right over the bar. The way that I was pulling before Joe just showed me how to pull right was that I was thinking about sitting back like this and getting my shoulders almost like in line with the bar. What Joe had suggested to do is to get the lats underneath the bar, so I'm more like here and a little bit more forward on my quads. And now that when I pull, I can literally kind of squat the bar up. And now my range of motion is shorter. My old one, where I'm like forward with the bar with the shoulders, I'm almost sitting back like this, but I'm creating more range of motion. The way that Joe is pulling right now, I actually could notice like an inch or 2 range of motion shorter. This is so much easier.
The other thing too, I'm a bottom-up setup kind of guy. So I come down to the bar very relaxed. Yeah. If you notice, I bend, I just grab it, I'm chill.
So you're not so tight that you feel like you're gonna pop.
I am once I get ready to pull. Gotcha. I don't like to, because I kind of take a little while when I'm down there. Yeah. So I'll sit there, I'll grab, I'll make sure my grip's tight. So I can't hold my breath and be tight that whole time. Yeah. But once I'm here, and once this happens, this is now at that position where I just need to pull from.
Gotcha, because my biggest problem with trying to set up that way, if I'm there too long, I tire myself out.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I mean, I got a big fucking power gut because I'm so short torsoed that like as soon as I start bracing, it's like 30 seconds and I'm done.
Right.
So that's a good way of thinking about it.
Well, that's why I stay super relaxed. So you'll see when I come down to the bar, even that position, you'll see like I'm just, as long as that's in position, I don't worry about how I grab it first. Like I don't worry about where my shoulders are yet.
Yeah.
I just grab, and again, right now, I'm totally relaxed. Then once I have here, and that happens, now I'm at a position where all of this, everything's tight.
And when you say bottom up, do you start with the feet in terms of the pressure, and then you kind of tighten everything off from that way?
Feet from pressure, but also bottom up, meaning if you watch, I don't know, say Larry Wheels.
Yeah.
When he gets ready to set up, he's tight, or even some people on our team, they were talking about, I think it was Kate.
Kate, yeah.
She gets tight from the top. She puts her hands up, gets tight. Nothing is tight on me until I'm down there.
Gotcha.
I don't do the, because I would lose breath and have to re-tighten once I'm down there anyway.
Yeah.
So everything's just chill, grab, tight, and then pull.
Yeah, I do think there's like a much clearer. So I'm over
Right now I'm at 705, I think 320 kilos. It's been a little while since I've used kilo plates, so it's feeling a little heavier. I know that sounds weird, but to anyone who's ever deadlifted on a deadlift bar with pound plates and kilo plates, it can make a big difference. When I'm using kilos, I typically jump by reds, which are 25 kilos each. So you're looking at 110 pound jumps each time. So right now this would be my 6th warm-up single. I tend to only take singles because I'm not gonna waste a lot of energy before I get to what I'm hoping my top set today will be lowish 800s. So I don't wanna waste that energy because it's very precious to me to get to that top set, and then my back downs are where I'll put a lot of my work in. Right now I'm feeling it a little bit. The fatigue is definitely there. So we'll see what I'm good for. I still want to hit something in the 8s, but I'm not sure yet where it'll be. I have about maybe one more warm-up. I might take it around 750-ish, 760-ish, and see where I'm at. So at this point, I'm probably going to throw on straps just because I like to save my hands a little bit. Sometimes they rip. I don't like that for especially meat prep. So I also want to make sure I hit my top set. So just to give that, I know in powerlifting you're not allowed to, but for me, getting the reps is more important at this point than worrying about, my grip failing me or something like that, of that nature. All right, I think 826 or 827 maybe?
Come on, Joe. Come on. Come on, finish up. Come on. Finish up. There you go. There's one. Come on. Nice. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Lock it out. 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 Come on. There it is. Hold. There it is. Hold. There it is. There it is. Right. Nice. Damn right.
That was heavy.
I'd say that's the 10.
I think that was 827. Yeah. So it is a PR. But wow, that was an RPE 10. Whew. So As you guys saw, with a true RPE 10, sometimes with those back down sets, I will tend to make an executive decision one of two ways. The program will give me a number. I may sometimes go a little bit lower than that number, or I may cut a set or two. That's not to say the program's not good, just sometimes I know how I feel. And with something like that, my lower back fatigue right now is pretty damn high.
Oh, today's gonna be a good day. Can I steal some of those reds? Besides, I kind of have a thing for Alico plates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I got the Rogues and the Titans at home, but there's something about Alicos and Avencos that whenever I see them, I'm like, So I'm kind of particular with my handoffs only because I've had too many bad handoffs that now I know what I prefer. So usually I tell my handoff person, double overhand, because I've had too many people use mixed grip and they'll actually twist. And I've noticed that too many times. And like I said, as much as I do a straight arm lat pull down to get into position, I kind of expect the same thing with my left off person where they're kind of doing like a straight arm lat pull down. Okay. So pull it out instead of picking it up and then dropping it, because even with the
Are you
pad,
pretty close to the over the J hook anyway? Like, are you like a very
slight? So very slight because of my proportions. So whenever I lift off, I always try to get it over my xiphoid process. So like when I arch, I literally push my belly out. So you'll literally see me look pregnant, and I'm just trying to get it on top of the highest.
So you
point.
bench to this?
Yeah.
You bench right below your sternum?
Yeah, sternum. Okay. So I bench almost like a short bencher, but raw, which is very interesting. But the way that I set up, I try to stay as close as possible. So it's more like a pull out, like right here, as opposed to like having to go all the way out. Yeah, so I'll do a triple here.
All right. So very slight handoff.
Yeah.
And I'll stay with you until you bring it out, right?
Yep. Perfect. I'm gonna give you the silent nod. So 3, 2, yep. Perfect. And now at this point where now I'm at the 300-pound range, I'll load the ad up and I actually put in about 2 minutes. So from 300 to 400, I'll put about 2 minutes of rest in between my warm-up sets. And then from 400 to 500, I'll put about anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes. So the other thing that I was talking about with Joe, since this is the first time that we've been lifting together, is that like, as silly as this may sound, and I know in the USAPL and IPF, you're not able to do this, but because we're both in the USPA, establishing a form of chemistry between the lift-off person and the person that's actually doing the pressing is crucial, because everybody has their own preferences, everybody has their own particular way of doing things. And in order to really establish trust, it's really critical to form that communication, even if you're only working with that person one time or not as often as you'd like to. Because like, the more safe I feel having a really good lift-off or handoff, the better my performances are going to be. So if I don't have to think about if the person's going to give me a good handoff or not, I'm thinking less about external factors like that. And I'm really more focusing on like, how can I get the most out of this press or the most out of this working set so I can build the most amount of stress on my body to get stronger and bigger. So having that line of communication, although it seems really silly, it's really important, especially on days like today, where I'm going pretty heavy for what I'm doing, and this is the first time that Joe and I are working together. So it's almost better to over communicate what you need than to not say anything at all and kind of feel each other out that way. Because the quicker we can build that chemistry, the more my performance is going to definitely be improved because I have that good communication relationship with him. And that goes for anybody. Anybody else on the team, I try to talk to them and try to get them to understand what I want, and vice versa, to make sure that we can get the best out of both of our performances on any given day. 3, 2, yep. One, 2, yep. Yeah, it's good. That's.
Obviously, I dropped this weight down considerably. It was supposed to be 690. My lower back was kind of saying no, so I'm at, I think, 501.
496.
Well, I put the 2.5s on there.
Yeah, 496. 485.
You're right. I'm thinking it's like 5 plates.
I got the kilo max.
You got it. You're good. So never mind. I'm weaker than I thought. 496. Thank you, Carlos, for making me feel bad about myself.
Triple. One, two, yep. That was 440 for 3. That's the original game plan of what we were supposed to do today. And now that I've noticed where my sticking point is, I've noticed that now that my sticking point went from me up here towards lockout, and now it's more of a mid-range. And that's where I'm really starting to feel my triceps starting to fatigue out. So I'm gonna go and talk to Chad, and I'll also look at the app and see what the suggestions are for my mid-range work, which is probably gonna end up being like a lot of scrotal presses. So for the rest of this prep, I'm probably gonna be focusing more on that on my secondary bench day, because this is my main heavy bench day. So we're gonna do some back on steps after this. But now I found out that like I have some technical stuff that I need to work on that are brand new. So that's gonna be fun to learn what I need to do in order to fix my new technique errors. Yep. So now I'm doing 5 sets of 3 at 407 as my target. Thank you.
I have squat accessories. Now for me, this is tough because squat is already a tough lift for me. However, I think for me, why the accessory is in is this bar, the SSB bar, the safety squat bar, is great for upper back building. So where I tend to fail in the deadlift, if I do, is about the mid-range point. That mid-range point tends to correlate with a weaker, possibly upper back. So this is a great carryover to the deadlift aspect, but still also carries over well to the squat. So today I believe I have 2 sets of 5 within the mid 300 range, so the percentage is pretty low. I think it's just to get the volume in and get me going to just help with that overall lift, and also just to carry over to some squat work as well. All right, so after the deadlifts, where I kind of made my own audible and I decided to drop it down lower than what the program had said, I'm now hitting squats. I'm at the top set, which is 385. I'm feeling good, so I'm keeping it to where it should be. It's only 2 sets of 3, so it's not too bad. After that, I can choose a posterior chain and a quad exercise. Now, the posterior chain is pretty much anything on the back side of the body. For me, it'll probably be something glute and hamstring related. But because I beat myself down pretty hard on the deadlifts, I'll probably keep it to a single joint movement, so a hamstring curl most likely. Once I finish the hamstring curl, I'll then move on to the quad exercise, which today I'm probably going to choose leg extensions. Again, just easier to recover from. I can get the volume in without beating up the upper body, and I can bring into my heavy squats later on this week without the carryover of all that other work. All
So I just finished up my bench workout for the day. Thank you, Joe, so much for being part of it. We had a great training session today. So again, I worked up to a top triple of 440 for 3, and then I did 5 sets of 3 as back off work at 407. After the words, I worked up with 185 to basically failure on every single set. I started off with a set of 12, and then I pretty much finished up with 3 sets of 15. Afterwards, I did some rear delt work with the reverse pec deck. I like using that machine because it's completely isolationist. And with that being said, it also really helps me build up my shelf for not only for my bench in terms of setting up on the rack, but also in terms of my low bar squat position. I feel like the bigger my rear delts are, the better position I can be in from an orthopedic standpoint on low bar squats, and also for setting up on my arch. So it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So I did that, and I did not push it to failure like bent over rows. And then lastly, I finished up with some arms. I started off with tricep push downs and then regular dumbbell curls. So we're gonna finish out the workout with the questionnaire. I'm gonna say that today was definitely an 8, because I don't normally push this hard outside of my barbell work. So normally I would keep a session like today at 7, but because of the extra push in the accessory work and think of it as more like a bodybuilder than a true powerlifter, I'm gonna put that at an 8. So we're done with this session, and I believe this is also the last session of the week. So we're also gonna go in with the check-in for the week as well too. I'm gonna say that everything was a 3 because everything was pretty much on point. And we're just gonna finish it like this. And once that's loading, then I'll have my next workout for next week, which will either be tomorrow or early Tuesday, depending on how heavy I plan on going. So all in all, I had a really good week of training. Really gracious that Top Strength was able to have us here. And I was really, really, really happy that I got to meet one of my new teammates today.
Okay guys, this is the end of the workout. Me and Carlos had an amazing time working out together. This app, highly recommend the JuggernautAI app. From beginner, intermediate, advanced. I mean, I would consider Carlos and I on Carlos a full advanced level, my deadlift on advanced level, and it's brought both of our numbers up. I've been using it for, I want to say, 3 years now, and it's done nothing but help me program, prioritize, just everything from not having to worry about thinking about the program. It's been easy, great, very intuitive. I highly, highly recommend it.
Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this content, and you'll be seeing Joe and myself and also the rest of the JuggernautAI crew in upcoming videos. So please like, subscribe, and keep following this content. Thanks guys.